Being a hairstylist as well as a trichologist is like the best of both worlds. It's kind of in a sense like the doctor and nurse relationship. You have the nurse at the bedside getting a first-hand report on what's going on with that patient. As a hairstylist standing behind the chair, I get a first-hand report on what's going on with the hair and scalp. With trichology, it's like the doctor in a sense. We have to assess what the root cause of that issue may be and come up with a treatment plan to help you manage and treat that issue. So for me, being a hairstylist as well as a trichologist, it's the best of both worlds.
Right. Think you did good. Look,
Oh,
you
thank
did a
you.
good job for me.
Okay.
So we're on time. All right.
Yeah.
Next question is, how do I grow my hair beyond my shoulders? So Miss Shana, do you want to kickstart this one? Or do you want me to take it?
I mean, I think go ahead and just kickstart it. You know, you could dive one in. That's how we do. So this is a common question I would say too, because a lot of clients will say my hair does not grow beyond a certain, length. They feel like once it gets to a certain length, it's at a standstill. So the question arises, depending on how old that individual is. Sometimes we have teens, sometimes we have older women who are saying their hair just never got. So it's take a moment to think back. Has your hair ever presented itself to get beyond that particular length that you're questioning, because it just may not be, however, but the more generalized question of how do I grow my hair beyond a certain length or things like that, period, is just consistency and a routine. It's funny because I think consistency is going to be our word a lot throughout a lot of these questions. You know, Consistency comes with just so much more than just our hair. So when we find ourselves getting in a good routine, a good healthy routine, you will realize, that we will see way more positive outcomes to what we're looking for.
Right.
So of course the consistency in the routine, staying up on the lovely trims that a lot of people do not want to get because if you are one of the ones who love length, um, it's just hard to break certain clients from thinking trimming their hair is not helping or taking away, and we just want to cut your hair off all the time.
Right.
Another myth.
Another myth.
So if you want that lovely movement, and growth, then it is the consistency, the routine in your hair care regimen, and then staying up on those trims, I would say, or my top three.
Okay. And I feel like I'm right on target with you.
Okay.
Definitely consistency is key, in everything that you do. You said that, right?
Mhm.
How do you currently manage your hair, right? What exactly are you doing? And you made a point too. You have to be intentional. What is your purpose? If your purpose is to grow longer hair, how are you approaching that purpose? What are your practices towards achieving that goal, right? So that goes into like certain products, or what type of hair do you have? Do you have a hair that requires a lot of moisture on a regular basis? Or are you approaching that goal in that process? With your shampoos, your conditioners, your leave-in moisturizers, maybe using a steamer. How do you approach your goal? And you made a really, 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 really good point. And I think this is like should be one of the first questions is, has your hair ever been that long in your lifetime? Because if no, it is very well possible that your hair does not grow that long. So the hair grows in cycles, right? So you have an active growth, you have a transitional growth, and you have a shedding period, right? So your active growth can be anywhere from 1 to 7 years, but not everyone falls on year 1 or year 7. Some people, their growth is 3.5 years, and then it sheds and it restarts, right? Not every hair strand is in that, same cycle at the same time. There's a percentage that one is in active, one is in transition, and one is in shedding. But if your hair has never grown that long, you may never get that length of hair.
Absolutely.
Or maybe you never had the practices, the proper practices to achieve that goal. So the question is very valid, but it's like we have to dig a little deeper, get your story, get your background to understand what exactly is going on before we can say, okay, this is what I think
Yes or no, it will
move
not.
right forward, right?
Yes.
So those are really good those are really good like points,
Mhm.
and I think you hit everything on the head, and all I could do is support your answers.